Spain was not afraid of Lionel Messi alone, nor was it only concerned about facing the reigning world champions or coming up against a national team accustomed to playing in finals. What Spain truly wanted to avoid was something much harder to control: an Argentina side capable of competing without dominating possession, surviving when the match became difficult, finding different heroes, and remaining dangerous, even when Messi was not the player finishing the move. And after everything that happened during this World Cup, Argentina became exactly that. The opponent Spain least wanted to face. For years, the most obvious way to try to stop Argentina seemed relatively simple to explain, even if it was extremely difficult to execute. Messi had to be limited. Close down the central spaces, prevent him from receiving near the box, force him to play far away from goal, surround him with several defenders, and hope that the rest of the team would not find a different solution. That plan never guaranteed success, of course, but at least it offered a clear idea. Spain's problem is that this Argentina no longer works that way. Messi remains the most important player, the leader, and the man around whom much of the attack revolves. At 39 years old, he still sees passes no one else can see, attracts defenders, and changes matches with a single intervention. But now, stopping Messi no longer means stopping Argentina. And that is the first reason this team became the scenario Spain wanted to avoid. Lionel Scaloni built a national team capable of finding answers in practically every area of the field. If the opposition surrounds Messi, space opens up for Enzo Fernandez or Alexis McAllister. If Argentina needs to press higher, Julian Alvarez turns every opposing buildup into an uncomfortable situation. If the match demands patience and a ruthless finish, Lautaro Martinez can wait for long stretches until his opportunity arrives. If the team needs to regain control, Leandro Paredes can slow the tempo. If intensity is required, Rodrigo de Paul is prepared to cover every yard. If the defense becomes exposed, Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez play with the aggression of men who believe no ball is ever lost. And if everything else fails, Emiliano Martinez is still there. Argentina no longer waits for one person to rescue it. It has different routes, different protagonists, and different ways to compete. That represents an enormous problem for Spain. Spain is a national team that usually feels comfortable when it manages to impose order. It wants the ball, wants to establish itself in the opposition half, move its opponent from side to side, and force it to chase for long periods. Its soccer becomes more dangerous when the match follows a clear logic. When Spain can control the tempo, choose where the game is played, and reduce the number of unexpected situations. But this Argentina has learned to live with uncertainty. It can play an open or closed match. It can press high or wait a few yards deeper. It can attack through quick combinations or advance by taking advantage of an opposing mistake. It can have the ball, but it can also spend several minutes without it and avoid becoming desperate. Scaloni's team no longer needs to feel superior throughout the entire match to believe it can win. That may be one of the biggest differences between the current Argentina and some of its previous versions. For a long time, whenever major matches started to become complicated, the team seemed to carry the weight of every past frustration. Every mistake awakened old ghosts. Every missed opportunity increased the anxiety. And every minute without finding a goal placed all the responsibility back on Messi's shoulders. Scaloni changed that mentality. Argentina stopped playing in an attempt to escape another defeat and began playing with the conviction that it would always find an answer. The transformation did not happen overnight. It was built through titles, difficult moments, and painful experiences as well. The group learned that a match can change several times. It learned that dominating does not always mean winning, and that suffering does not necessarily mean being defeated. Today, Argentina can make a mistake without collapsing. It can miss a clear opportunity and continue attacking. It can be temporarily pushed against the ropes and still feel that the match belongs to it. That is exactly what Spain had to fear. Not a perfect Argentina, but an Argentina that no longer needs to be perfect. Teams that depend on playing well can be neutralized, take away the ball, disrupt their rhythm, or force them into a kind of match they do not want. But how do you neutralize a national team that has learned to win in different ways? How do you force panic upon a group that has already experienced finals, comebacks, extra time, penalty shootouts, and nights when there appeared to be no way out? Spain can prepare a strategy to control possession. It can study Messi's movements, it can try to attack the space behind the fullbacks, or pull Argentina's midfielders away from the areas where they feel most comfortable. What it cannot fully prepare for is this team's emotional resistance. Argentina has developed a special relationship with decisive moments. When the match enters its final minutes and fatigue starts to show, the national team does not interpret the clock the same way everyone else does. It does not see it only as a threat. It also understands it as an opportunity. Argentina demonstrated that repeatedly during this World Cup. There is no need to review every goal or every play to understand the pattern. When other teams begin to believe the result is decided, Argentina continues playing as though there were still an eternity remaining. The late goals are only the visible part. Behind them lies something deeper. A national team that preserves its belief when the body begins to tire, continues pressing when it appears to have no energy left, and can still make the right decision in the middle of chaos. That is not luck. Luck may explain a deflected ball, a favorable rebound, or a refereeing decision. It cannot explain years of responding in the same manner. Argentina created the habit of believing, and that habit is especially dangerous in a final. Spain knows that starting well will not be enough, nor will controlling the game for an hour or taking the lead. Against this Argentina, the match will not be over until the final whistle. Even if Messi appears to be under control, the threat of an individual moment will remain. Even if Argentina spends several minutes defending, one recovery will be enough to transform the match. Even if Spain takes the lead, it will have to confront the certainty that the champion will never stop searching for a response. And that pressure matters too. There is a difference between facing an opponent that hopes to win and facing one that is convinced it can always come back. Argentina displays that conviction in every duel, every recovery, and every celebration. The players do not act like a group wondering what will happen when the decisive moment arrives. They behave like a team that has already been there and knows exactly what it must do. That confidence began with Scaloni. When he took charge, Argentina was an emotionally broken national team. It had lost finals, accumulated frustration, and turned every tournament into a kind of final judgment on Messi and his entire generation. Scaloni did not erase the past. He did something more important. He taught the team to stop fearing it. He turned pressure into fuel. He surrounded Messi with players who do not feel like supporting characters and built a structure in which every member understands that he can become the protagonist. That is why Argentina plays like a family. The word may sound overused, but within this team, it has real meaning. The forwards are the first defenders. The midfielders cover the spaces left by their teammates. The defenders celebrate a recovery as if it were a goal. And when someone makes a mistake, the rest do not point fingers. They prepare to respond. That level of unity also creates problems for Spain. The Spanish national team may have more possession and complete more passes. It may force Argentina to chase the ball and create stretches in which it appears to be in complete control. But defeating this team will require more than technical superiority. Spain will have to break Argentina's confidence. It will have to make the players stop believing, cause doubt to enter their minds, and dismantle in one night an emotional structure built over several years. So far, no one has managed to do it. Argentina has already shown that it can withstand the pressure of defending its title. It has also shown that the hunger did not disappear after winning in Qatar or after conquering the Americas again. That could have been the natural ending to the story. Messi lifting the World Cup, Scaloni completing the reconstruction, a generation permanently entering history and slowly beginning to say goodbye. But this group did not want to close the cycle. It wanted to expand it. Argentina entered this World Cup not to celebrate what it had already achieved, but to prove that it could do it again. And now it is one match away from winning 2 consecutive World Cups, after also winning 2 straight Copa America titles. This is no longer only a championship generation, it is the possibility of building a dynasty. Spain will face Messi, but it will also face everything that grew around him. A defense that is not afraid to play on the edge. A midfield capable of competing through intensity or intelligence. Forwards who can press, attack space, or wait for the right moment. A goalkeeper who seems to grow larger as the pressure increases. And a coach who turned flexibility into one of his greatest strengths. Spain surely would have preferred an Argentina side dependent on Messi. A team forced to have the ball, uncomfortable when required to defend, and vulnerable whenever the match moved away from the plan. That Argentina would have been easier to study, easier to force into an uncomfortable situation, easier to defeat. But that is not the national team that reached the final. The current Argentina can play well and win. It can play poorly and survive. It can dominate, resist, come from behind, or protect a lead. It can find solutions through Messi or allow another player to take responsibility. It does not need the match to follow a specific script. And that is what makes it so dangerous. Spain will not only face the world champion, it will face a team that left its fears behind, learned from its wounds, and turned difficulty into part of its identity. It will face a national team that does not feel defeated when it loses control, does not break when it makes a mistake, and never interprets the passage of time as a reason to surrender. Spain could prepare for Messi's talent. It could prepare for Argentina's intensity. It could even prepare for a match filled with tension. But there was one thing it did not want to encounter in this final: a complete, flexible, emotionally indestructible Argentina, capable of winning without depending on a single formula. And after years of growth, titles, and decisive moments, Argentina became exactly that, exactly what Spain feared.